What's going on, everybody? C4 here. Today we're continuing with our 32-team 7-round mock draft series. And now we're looking at the team with the number 9 pick in the first round. And that is the San Francisco 49ers, a team that has made a lot of splashes in the offseason. A team that I imagine, as we get closer to the preseason, is going to emerge as everyone's preseason favorite. And rightfully so. They've made some very good moves. They're undefeated under Jimmy Garoppolo. I think that, the Rams are pretty much gotta be the front runners, you think, as of me recording this, and Ndamukong Suh is yet to sign anywhere. But if he goes to the Rams are probably going to be the easily favorited team in the NFC West. But I think the 49ers probably can compete for the wild card. I say that meaning that the wild card's not going to take 10 wins. I think the Niners ceiling right now is 10 wins, but from when they were a year ago, that's almost double what they had. So they're definitely going in the right direction. Before we jump in the mock draft, though, we have to see what they did via free agency to set it up a draft board. They lost Elvis Dumerville, who's one of their better rotational edge rushers. They lost Carlos Hyde, which I still would have preferred they kept Carlos Hyde when all said and done. But that, I'm not a fan. And, I do get that he has struggled to stay healthy throughout his career. And they lost edge rusher Aaron Lynch. So they lost basically their two better rotational edge rushers, but there's a reason why those guys were rotational. Dumerville was old, and Aaron Lynch just wasn't consistent enough to stay on the field on all downs. So looking at what they added, they re-signed Jimmy Garoppolo. They re-signed Marquise Goodwin, holding together two of probably the most promising aspects, I would say, of their offense. Goodwin had a breakout season, great deep threat, and obviously Jimmy G's looking like a franchise QB. They were able to bring in Richard Sherman from the Seattle Seahawks, which is one of the more polarizing splashes, because now you get to go see Richard Sherman against Seattle 2 times a year. I think it's a good fit. I think everything looks decent on that deal, and it's a good risk on either side. They brought in Weston Richburg, the center from the Giants, and even though the Giants' offensive line was not very good, he was definitely one of the better, him and Pugh, on a very bad offensive line, and is an upgrade at center for the 49ers. And then they brought in Jerick McKinnon to replace Carlos Hyde. So even though I did say I would have rather them keep Carlos Hyde, that was before I know who they would sign. I think when you're comparing McKinnon to Hyde, give me McKinnon. He's a little bit more versatile. He's the same style, more versatile, more versatility, and he stays healthy. So I think McKinnon is very interesting to watch for the 49ers. So that being said, let's jump into the mock draft. Going into the first round at pick number 9, I am selecting the linebacker from Virginia Tech, Tremaine Edmunds. Looking at their depth chart, I think he could walk in day one as a 19-year-old and be the starting Sam or the starting Will linebacker. When you look at their Sam, it's Eli Harold right now, according to OurLads.com, and he's much more of a 3-4 outside linebacker. At the Will, you got Malcolm Smith, who's coming off a pretty bad injury. You don't know if he's going to be the same caliber player that he was when you signed him away from Oakland. And even in the Mike, you don't know what the future holds for Reuben Foster. He looked good as a rookie. You can't fix stupid. There's a reason why he slipped to where he did and wasn't like a top 10, top 12 pick last year, and that the 49ers could draft him at the bottom. Probably going to face 4 to 6 game suspension, somewhere in the area of that. So either way, Tremaine Edmunds has to be the pick right here. He's an upgrade on any spot as a starter on the linebacking core, and he's 19. Going to the second round, pick 59, I was selecting offensive lineman Martinez Ranchod from Mississippi State. Great versatility. I think versatility, when you have the talent to be considered a day 2 pick, is very, very key. When you look at the 49ers offensive line, you probably say you got Joe Staley, who you need to get his replacement. You have Richburg, who they just signed. You have Garnett, that a 2016 first-round pick that you hope can turn it around. And you have Trent Brown. So the offensive, it's not bad. You got Laken Tomlinson there, kind of a bust, probably not going to amount. Same with Jonathan Cooper. You got a couple guys that you bounced around, trying to find more consistency. But you get a guy like Martinez Ranchod, who has great versatility, can play pretty much everywhere on the offensive line, minus center. I think in the second round he could be and challenge for that starting left guard spot with Jonathan Cooper or Laken Tomlinson or Zane Beadles, whoever's going to be the guy there. And he could eventually swing to tackle and cover for when life beyond Joe Staley is gone. I don't know how old he is. 34, 33, between 32 and 34, somewhere in that range. So he's near the end of his life cycle. Gets to get a guy there that can plug and play right there in Martinez Ranchod. I think that's a good pick. Going to the first of 2 third-round picks. First up at 70, I was selecting wide receiver Michael Gallup from Colorado State. I think he walks in day 1 and is wide receiver 3 on this team. I think he gets some starting snaps, assuming that you're going to have Pierre Garçon in the slot. I mean, I would definitely take him right now in the roster over Aldrick Robinson. Not as much of a deep threat, where Robinson's much more of the guy that separates and gets speed downfield. I think a guy like Michael Gallup, who won the award for best wide receiver. The Blitnikoff trophy, I believe it was, put up godly numbers at Colorado State. And people thought, you know what, he looks good, but I don't think he's going to test well at the Combine. Tested probably slightly better than a lot of people expected at the Combine. Great hands, and for a guy that's like 6 feet, 6'1", excellent jump ball ability. When you look at the wide receivers right now on the 49ers that you would say are you know, favored to get a lot of playing snaps, Garcon, not spectacular jump ball. Goodwin, not so good at the jump ball. Trent Taylor, not so good at the jump ball. Get a guy that can actually, you know, add another different dimension to the wide receivers that you have on your roster. Thank God in the third is money. Going to their second, third round pick 74. After selecting running back Nick Chubb from Georgia. Walks in, running back 2. Looking at the roster, they got a lot of guys. They don't have the smash to Jerick McKinnon's dash. You have Joe Williams, a 4th round pick in 2017, who, you know, I think is much more in the category of Jerick McKinnon, what he brings to the offense. Plus, he once retired from football. You know, he had that injury. You never know where he's going to be. You have Matt Breida, who wasn't anything special. Trust me, I had Carlos Hyde as a fantasy. I watched it from a fantasy perspective. I had Carlos Hyde as one of my running backs. I picked up this Breida guy. He did nothing. So I think when you look at the roster, you're going to have McKinnon and Joseph Williams as your change of pace back, and then Nick Chubb can come in and be that smash to the dash. I think what you saw with Jerick McKinnon in Minnesota is that when he was the starter, because of injury, wasn't as good as when he had a healthy rotation, be it with, say, Adrian Peterson, which wasn't that healthy because AP was getting a lot of the carries, but more so what they had last year with Dalvin Cook, and then after Dalvin Cook went out, Latavius Murray. I think having a nice little 2 running back tandem that complements each other versus having McKinnon and Joseph Williams, which are pretty much the same type of back, is more beneficial. Getting a guy like Nick Chubb, who very well could emerge as the future franchise running back for the 49ers. He has that potential. I think in the 3rd round, it might not be the biggest need, but getting best player available and a complement to your offense would be a good fit for the Niners. Next up in the 4th round pick, 128, I'm selecting cornerback J.C. Jackson from Maryland. I think he can come in and challenge right away for the starting nickel on the roster. With him, he's not really a guy that can be pigeonholed in a nickel like some guys are clearly going to be nickel corners in the next level. I think he's a guy that does have versatility to play outside, the athletic ability to play outside, but looking at how he fits on this 49er roster, right now I don't really know who their starting nickel corner would be. K1 Williams, maybe? Could be it. Either way, he comes in, adds some little bit of youth there, and great depth. I think this is not the last time we're talking about corner. I think they need to add a lot more depth here to the cornerback. The safeties look nice with Tart, Ward, Adrian Colbert. Corners, after really the top 2 in Sherman and Witherspoon, I definitely think you need to add some more talent there, and it starts with J.C. Jackson, whose tape looks really, really nice. I saw him run, and then I saw his drills, so I was like, all right, I'm going to do a little bit more research on him, and he looks really, really solid. Going to the 5th round, pick 143, having one of my favorite players of this year's draft class, linebacker Jack Sitchie from Wisconsin. I think Jack Sitchie will be linebacker 5. So that'd be, you know, competing for the top depth role. When you look at their starting roster, assuming that they get Tremaine Edmonds, their linebackers will be Tremaine Edmonds, Reuben Foster when he comes back from injury, and Malcolm Smith. And then beyond that, I mean, you got a Toshu who they signed. He probably is going to be, you know, they may actually look at moving him to defensive end. Dakota Watson's a depth guy, special teamer. Elijah Lee, special teamer. Brock Coyle, probably a special teamer. Jimmy Gilbert, special teamer. So I see like Jack Sitchie would be a starter, but he's coming off a bad injury. I think if he didn't have that injury and played this last season for Wisconsin, he probably would be a 3rd round pick. So this is more so you're getting good, very, very good value if you're the 49ers. And again, I just feel like they need to add more depth and guys that can eventually take over for their starters. So if you assume that Tremaine Edmonds can start, I mean, find Malcolm Smith's replacement here. You know, Malcolm Smith getting up there in age has a decent cap hit. You can free up more space and get a guy that might even be better than Jack Sitchie here in the 5th round. Go to the 6th round pick, 184. I'm selecting offensive guard KJ Malone from LSU. Yes, the son of Karl Malone, the mailman. I think looking at the roster again, just adding and beefing up there in the interior. You got a guy like Martinez Rankin, who, like I said, is versatile guard tackle type. A guy like KJ Malone is pretty much going to be your starting guard depth. I would think the line might start there, especially for the right guard spot behind Joshua Garnett. But yeah, I think it's just a very solid value pick for a team that just, again, it's more so you're just reloading on the depth and getting guys that have upsides and ceilings. You don't need to be getting guys that have limited ceilings and might be able to start sooner. You know, some teams look for that in the 5th round, guys that, you know, they're pretty much pro-ready as they're going to get. They might be able to give you, you know, more in years 1 and year 2. I think with the 49ers, you get guys that might not, you don't need to snip the field in year 1, but year 2, year 3, once they get to develop, they can take over the starting gigs and help free them up some caps because, you know, you got a big contract there in Jimmy Garoppolo that you're going to need to work around. Going to the 7th round, they have 2 7th round picks. First up at 227, I'm selecting defensive tackle Zakoven Henderson from Texas A&M. Looking at Henderson, I think he comes in, beats D-tackle 4, D-tackle 5, somewhere in that range. Right now they have Earl Mitchell, DeForest Buckner, DJ Jones, Sheldon Day. Hell, you may even want to, like, you know, with the new scheme change. Did they even have a scheme change? Yeah, they did, because Solomon Thompson was a D-tackle. Now they're playing defensive end. That's why he struggled a little bit. Yeah, so yes, Earl Mitchell, DJ Jones, Buckner, Sheldon Day. Those are your D-tackles. I think a guy like Zakoven Henderson tested pretty well at the combine. Almost at 300 pounds, running a 5'1", 640, putting up 20 reps on the bench press, showed great athletic ability. I think what you're going to get on him is, as a rookie, a rotational guy that has a chance of cracking the final 53. I think he's too good to put on a practice squad. I think that, you know, especially DJ Jones, maybe challenge for that. Sheldon Day looks pretty nice there as a rotational D tackle. So I think he just, you know, again, adds more competition to a position that they want to try to get better at. And then finishing up with the last 7th round pick, 240. I have them taking cornerback Andre Shashir from San Jose State. Now, where we have a guy like J.C. Jackson, that's probably going to start out as a nickel, get some depth on the outside. Because right now, they're outside depth at corner. Greg Maben, Shannon Stribling, Trevon Reed. Who? Who are these people? Exactly. Get a guy in Andre Shashir who had a 4.49 40. He's 6 feet, 200 pounds. And I butchered his name. It's Shashere. Andre Shashere. There we go. My apologies. Great vertical jump. So he's your speed jump guy. Pretty much NFL size on the outside. It was what you need. And I think right away, you know, a lot of looking at his scouting report. I don't know a whole lot about San Jose State, but I've seen a highlight video of at least everyone that I've talked about, and he looked really good jump ball. Like, again, I guess it really does show with his vertical that he, on the outside, a lot of times he'd be able to, you know, where his makeup cover speed's good, not great, he'd be able to kind of compensate that by just, I'm just going to jump over this guy and bat the ball down. So when you look at what the 49ers have, I think he could add and challenge not only to make the final 53, but bring something to special teams, because he has good size, he has good speed, and add better dimension than, you know, the depth guys they have at outside corner, Maven and Stribling, like the guys I talked about. So we got better in a lot of areas here for the 49ers. The last couple picks weren't sexy. I really like the Sitchy pick, but it was just adding depth, like I said, and trying to challenge for the final 53, which is what you do. Not every pick's gonna be sexy, but how about those first 4? Edmonds, Rankin, Gallup, Chubb. Woo! That is one of my favorite starts to a mock draft out of all the mock drafts we've done this year. So I hope you guys maybe agree. If you disagree, let me know in the comment section below. If you have your own San Francisco 49er mock draft, feel free to post it up. We can do a nice little side-by-side comparison. If it's your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.